Hey, what's up, everybody? Current temperature is 51 degrees. It is 9:39 p.m. on Monday, January 29th, 2024. So, I was just kind of skimming through the last few uh, installments of these because I had to clear up some storage space on my phone in order to be able to record more. And so my last one was on January 10th. And at the time, I was in my very first week of direct sales training. And I was still in shadowing in field training. So here we are 19 days later. And oh man, it's been very eventful. It's been quite a ride. So now, we only got 2 more days left of January, so it's pretty much the whole month now. Yeah, off to the races. January 2024, very eventful, very intense, I will say. So, oh yeah, I'm just I'm just like more aware of my mental health and well-being now, and I realize how important it is. And I know I've been talking about this stuff for years, but it's like it really anytime things are brought to the surface, anytime I'm really tested, I discover things about myself. And it's with the new position, being an energy consultant now, it there's some turbulence, there's some growing pains, and it just brings a lot of things to the surface and forces me to confront my inner self and the world, and really to completely shatter the comfort zone and just start from scratch. So it's been quite a trip for me in my mind and my ego specifically. Um, my whole in ways that I didn't really anticipate being the focus of it. So I went from being like the best in outreach basically, and being at the top of the leaderboards and being celebrated every day, and then just that whole culture is very upbeat, very happy, very positive, you know. And so then I just go into the unknown, and I just got to figure it out. There's a lot less communication. There's a lot less. You're just more self-sufficient, and it's definitely more business oriented on this side, and yeah, and I'm starting from the bottom. I'm the new guy here. They don't care what I did in outreach because it's not what this is. So, and I gotta learn the whole in-home process and just the whole thing from scratch. And until I learn that, then I'm of no value. So that's how it's determined. So I have learned the in-home process, the LOI process. I just got certified on it 3 days ago at the meeting there. We had Jarrell told me back and did a role play where he's the homeowner and I'm going through the whole thing. And he gave me a passing grade. He said it was pretty good. Very little feedback, actually. But of course I was expecting that, and I studied extensively for the day and a half prior. It's a little bit more real, like when I'm actually in the home and it's live with the homeowner and they ask me questions and give me objections and things like that. And it's a whole new ballgame once you're inside the house. It's like on the door, and that's not easy either. See, that's the thing, is like I got to be careful not to make hasty generalizations. That's been my downfall a lot of the time. Outreach is not easy, and I still respect those guys and empathize with them, and I thank them for what they do. It's very important. And going from 0 to 1 is going to be the hardest part, right? So knocking on the door as a cold call and getting someone who is not interested in solar to become interested in wanting more information, that's the hardest part. Once they're interested, it's like a snowball effect, and then everything they hear just makes sense, and they're more excited about it, and then by the time they sign the contract, it's like, they're ready to do it. But so yeah, it's not that it's harder being indirect, it's just a lot more work. In outreach, all we do is set appointments, so you just set it and forget it, and that's it. You talk to the homeowner for 5 minutes, defer to the solar pro, put everything in the notes, and then you never see them again. And here it's like, it's a 25-year agreement, so you got to be their solar representative for the next 25 years. And, you got to, like, it's all on you to make sure that go through the in-home process and schedule a go back and have them sign and then explain everything and file for the permits, and it's all on you. And I'm just not used to that level of responsibility. So in retrospect, this is pretty much what I wanted out of this. I wanted to expand my comfort zone and to, learn more skills, hone my craft, and to be more of a businessman and have more responsibilities and things like that. And that's what I got. And that's what this is. So I think, once I get good at it, I think it'll be what I wanted it to be. Because there are some things that seem favorable. But yeah, just to circle back to what I was opening with. So for the last 19 days, first of all, I was really sick for about a week. I had what I believe to be the flu. I'm not 100%. I know it wasn't COVID, so it was either the flu, probably the flu, because if it was just a cold, it's cold's not that bad. I'm still able to work and stuff, and it's usually only a day or two. But yeah, this was 6 days of just being bedridden and literally not being able to do anything. So that also was very bad timing. Not that there's really a good time for to be bedridden, but it's I'm just starting this new thing. It was like a couple of days after the last I had 1 day on my own, right? I had the first week I did virtual training, in-office training, and shadowing. And then my very first day on my own, it was a Saturday. I was out there all day. Didn't get anything. Very humbling experience for me. And then literally the next day, I was bedridden. So I had one day out there by myself, and then the whole second week, I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything because I was so sick, and I haven't been that sick in a while, like a couple of years probably. I'll get a cold maybe 3 4 times a year, but it's never usually like debilitating. I'm still like, life goes on. Like, it's not fun, but what are you gonna do? It's like having a headache or a stomach ache or whatever, toothache, whatever. But yeah, this was next level. And so everything just kind of compounded. And for me, all my life, maybe some of you can relate. Comment if you know what I'm talking about. But whenever I would get really sick, like it would affect my mind as well. So it's like if my body's just like not working and it's just in like battle mode, like my brain like starts, I don't know, but it's like a similar thing that goes on inside my brain as there is inside my body. It's like a war. And yeah, I would just have these like crazy episodes of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like mania, and then like panic, and then like it was just like literally a fever dream, because I guess it was I had a fever. So yeah, it was just this really bizarre and macabre, or I'm trying to think of words, a very disturbing experience that I couldn't snap myself out of. And then on top of that, I tried to every day during that, I was like, well, today's the day, like, that I'm gonna still push myself to go to work. It's like I've been down for 2 days, so now day 3. Like, I still don't feel good, but I'll get out there and I'll do something. So at the beginning of the day, I would try to take medicine. I would take Dayquil, whatever. And, I had some kratom coffee. And try to get myself feeling all right. And it just wasn't enough. I still, like, yeah, I still wasn't physically able to it, but then all that stuff still affected my mind, and I was even more sensitive to any kind of stimulus in that state. So I was just going crazy, and then especially with NyQuil. NyQuil's always messed me up. But yeah, whenever I take NyQuil, sometimes it didn't even like, I wouldn't even fall asleep for hours, but it would just like just mess up my mind. I would just get all loopy, and and then I was smoking weed too some of the days, and yeah, I would just get like so out of it. It was unlike anything I've experienced in a while, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't pleasant at all. Um, yeah. And then the probably like, yeah, one of the symptoms that I get for like really intense flus or sicknesses is like where your sense of temperature gets messed up, and it feels like you're hot and cold at the same time. And that's what really gets me, is like, it's, you just go back and forth within a 5-minute period, between shivering, sweating, both at the same time. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't want to put on another blanket because then I'm already drenched in sweat, but I also don't want to take the covers off because then I'll be shivering even more. So it's like, it's just impossible to fall asleep like that, or to do anything. So it's like, that's the biggest paradox of sleeping while sick, because that's the thing that's going to help you sleep is the best medicine, that's what's going to help you get over it the fastest. So I was all on board team sleep. I wanted to sleep as many hours as possible, but I was in so much pain and I was so out of it that like my mind and my body just wouldn't let me sleep no matter what I took. And so I was only getting a few hours of sleep per day, and like I wasn't feeling any better. And then of course the sleep deprivation also made it worse and it made me even more out of it. So yeah, it was just not good for like 5-6 days. Yeah, it got real bad. And so then of course during that time is like a lot of anxiety developed, where it's like I felt pressure to be out there, because I talked a big game in making the transition over. I was like, oh yeah, I'm the sauce boss and I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna crush it and whatever. And then I got taken down like that. And every day there in the chat, I got the managers texting me like, hey, you going out the field today? Like, I'm like, no, I can't. I really want to. I don't want to just be sitting at home doing nothing. Like, that just makes it even worse, like it makes me go even crazier. But that's literally all I can do right now. And so it really bothered me. And then money too, it's like, well, now I'm on commission only, so if I'm not out there working, I'm not making anything, and the bills still gotta get paid. And I actually did recently a breakdown of all my monthly expenses, and it came out to $5,600 per month. So it's no wonder that I haven't been able to save up anything this whole time, because in outreach on Elite Pay, the highest pay structure, a demo is $250. So even if I got 16 demos a month, that's only $4,000 plus the base salary, which is $2,400. So that's $6,400 gross, and then net that would be like maybe $4,800 or something. So that's actually less than the $5,600. So I would need to get like 20 demos just to break even, and those were like my best months, And then if I didn't make it, then I'd have to borrow money from my mom, and I really didn't like doing that. So, and I still have quite a tab with her. So I just wanted to, and I got a decent amount because I had the first two paychecks January. I had the base salary and the demos, and then I had my team lead bonus from December, $500, and then the holiday bonus of $500, and then I cashed out all of my PTO. I had 300 hours of PTO, so that came out to about $5,000 net or gross, but I only netted like 2,800 of it because the rest got taxed. I think that's a lot to not get, but whatever. So, and then I got insurance money from the accident, from the claims. They gave me $3,200 for the first one and $3,400 for the second one. But that's not spending money. That's money for the estimate that I gotta pay the shop with. So I was setting that aside, but then being out for so long and then not having a base salary anymore, I was kind of forced to dip into that a little bit. So as far as the car and all that goes, that's on hold until I make that money back, so that I'm actually able to be able to pay to get it fixed. So that's even though I got the insurance money, I still can't afford to get it fixed. And then we got to get the rental situation figured out. I'm trying to coordinate so I could take it into one place and have them work on both claims with just the one rental car, so I don't have to take it in two separate times. And I'm supposedly able to get the rental car covered, although I might need to pay for it up front and then get reimbursed. I don't know. I'm thinking of just scrapping Toyota and taking it to one of the insurances places, because first of all, it'll probably be quicker. Only like a few days that I'll need the rental car, and then I won't have to argue with them over the pricing, because they'll probably just honor the estimate that I got and just accept that as the price, and then I won't need to pay the difference. Or if they do have a little bit more, then the insurance should accept that because it's one of their approved places, rather than the dealership is charging double for everything, and then I need to pay the other half out of my pocket, and then they're gonna just make it take even longer. So I just don't think that's worth it. But anyway, and then even after I got better, I was just like, it just killed all the momentum that I had going into it. So I just the next week was really rough for me mentally, which I guess was last week. It was some of the worst anxiety of my life. I was literally just freaking out about nothing, really. Now looking back on it, it's like, now those same thoughts that would just ruin my day a week ago, I now like can think about and be like, okay, yep, but it doesn't like ruin my day anymore. I'm just like, all right, and then I go to the next thing. And that's how it should be. That's how it usually is. So it was just really strange. I've never really been brought down that much. It's been a while. I mean, I have in the past, but not recently. So it's just been quite the ego death and rebuilding and all that kind of thing. So I'm a changed person. 100%. And yeah. So, and then on top of all that, it was the South Florida Fair in West Palm Beach, and my mom already got us tickets a few months ago and they were on sale. So I had committed to going down there and going to the fair with them and staying with them and stuff. And so we were supposed to spread it out over 2 weeks, because I had my meetings, Direct has a meeting Tuesday morning or Friday morning. So I was supposed to go from Tuesday after the meeting to Thursday night, and we go to the fair Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so the first week I was so sick. I got in the car and I tried going down there, and I couldn't. I couldn't. I had to go back. And so the second time we had to just double it up. But I really, because I was feeling up to it physically, but I was just really not in a good place mentally. But I knew, this is when we have to use the tickets. This is when the fair is. These are the only days I can go, So it's just a shame that, I wasn't able to really get into it, just because I was just freaking out the whole time. And the first day I tried smoking some weed to see if that would help calm me down, but it actually just made it worse, because if I'm in an anxious state of mind, it's just going to amplify the anxiety, and then especially being in public and being with my family and stuff. So that was not good at all. So then the other days I was like, well, I can't do that again. So I just had to just let it ride. And so, but yeah, as far as work goes, now I definitely feel a lot more optimistic about it, especially after, was it Friday? So 3 days ago, The same day I got my certification, actually, I went out in field with this guy. I'll shout him out. His name's Ron, and he's relatively new too. He's only been there maybe about a month, but he's already running leads now. He's got him on lead shift and stuff, and he's pretty good. And so like, yeah, Lesko knows more about knocking doors because he was in outreach, so he can teach Ron about that, and then Ron knows more about the in-home process and stuff, so he can teach Lesko about that, so you guys can learn from each other. Like, all right, so he went out to buddy knocking, and he was so heartwarming, man. He literally was like, oh, so what's outreach like? And I kind of explained to him, and he's like, oh, okay, so what was your pitch like in outreach? And so I told him, I gave him the pitch, and he was just like, whoa, like that is awesome, man. I've never heard anything like that. He's like, you're probably booking everybody. I'm like, well, not everybody, but I was one of the top in the office. And I'm like, so I'm just like struggling to adapt to the new format, because that's just my muscle memory. He's like, well, dude, if you just say that, like, you just got to find a way to transition in rather than setting the appointment, but you definitely should be able to. And I was like, oh, but what about, like, and I don't want to get too specific into it, but I was like, oh, what about this and that? And he actually showed me some things that I can use to incorporate into my process that I was like, wow, okay. So he got me all excited about it then. And so we knocked doors for a few hours. We would get kind of distracted talking to each other and stuff, but we knocked maybe 20 doors. We didn't get into any houses, but that's okay. We got more experience, and I got to learn some things from him, and I got to give him some feedback and stuff, so it was just a really wholesome and positive experience. And so that really helped me, because it also validated what I originally thought and reminded me the whole reason that I made the switch in the first place, which is that I can literally do the same thing that I did in outreach, use the same pitch word for word, overcome the same objections, work the same loop system in the neighborhood, work the same hours, the same everything, but just either set appointments for myself or just do the LOI right then. And then it's my opportunity, it's my money that I'm making for the whole deal. So it's just a higher ceiling. It's an extended version of the same process I'm already familiar with rather than a new one entirely. And that, to me, first of all, it's less overwhelming. But secondly, it's like, well, I know I can do that. And because I was really good at outreach, and I had a high sit rate and a high contract rate. And if I'm the one doing the process the whole way through, it should be even higher. And so, that kind of gave me reassurance. Like, okay, so I just got to really get the transition and the in-home process down, because I already have the door pitch, because I'm just using mine from outreach. So Saturday when I went out, I just used my outreach pitch, and it actually worked. I got inside 2 houses with it, and one of them, he just couldn't get me his electric bill, so I wasn't able to go through the full thing. The second one, the guy was super down, but his credit ended up failing, unfortunately, because that is one thing, is they do have to pass credit to do the LOI. We just do a soft pull. It's not it doesn't impact their score or anything, but we don't get to see a number. It just turns green or red, and that's it. So, but if it wasn't for that, I would have gotten my first LOI this Saturday using that process. So that's really that was also really encouraging too, to know that I'm on the right track. And then yesterday, I was in Home Depot. It's my first time being in there on a Sunday, because the outreach reps don't work Sundays. So I'm in Home Depot every Sunday now this month, or February, the upcoming month. But unfortunately, there was a race going on. This was in Daytona Beach. So there was a race going on, so the store was dead. There was almost no foot traffic, so I didn't get anything. Because in a Home Depot, obviously we're not doing LOIs in there. We would set appointments, which is the same thing I would do for outreach. So I was really excited for it because I felt like I was an outreach rep. I would use the same pitch. I would do the same thing, only instead of calling it in for someone else to run it, I would just set it in my calendar for me to go run it. So I was like, yeah, that's perfect. It's exactly what I need. So hopefully this next week, because they said it's usually busy on the weekends. That was very rare. So, next Sunday should be more successful. But today I went out there, and I set 2 appointments for myself on my own. One of them was kind of rescheduled from Saturday. The guy stood me up, so I went back to his house and confronted him about it. He was like, oh, okay, come back tomorrow. So I'm like, all right. And then the other one, I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket, but I'll still show up and see what happens. But that's good to know at least that I'm making some progress now rather than just nothing. Which, to be fair, between being sick and being out of town, I really didn't have that many days by myself prior to going with Ron. I maybe had 4. Yeah, it was Saturday and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So 5. Yeah, and then I was out of town Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I came back Friday. So yeah, I had 5 days by myself that were uneventful. Well, no, technically the last Monday I was with Jarrell. So that's, so 4, whatever. But yeah, so now I'm I'm okay. I'm more confident and I'm more grounded. I'm not freaking out about it anymore. So tomorrow, I'll show up to I might get 2 LOI. I might get 3 LOIs because I might get both of those and then another cold call one. So this can all turn around very quickly, and I can start making some money and getting into a rhythm, because everybody keeps telling me once you get your first one, it's it's all fall like dominoes. So, and I believe that. So. And then they want to put me on leads as soon as possible, which I'm excited for, because those are I've ran the leads when I was shadowing. I've seen them be run, and those things are gift wrapped. So that's perfect. So probably a few weeks, basically once I get a couple closes, maybe 5 LOIs and 2 closes, and then I'll be on leads. So that can happen very quickly once I flip that switch, So, and that's only going to happen with a certain amount of experience, certain amount of hours, certain amount of doors, certain amount of conversations. But I know I'm on the right track. Tyson tried to make me feel better. He's like, oh, it took me 1,500 doors to get my first LOI. You're getting close. You would have had one already, So, yeah, I know. So it's just, most of the pressure has just been me putting it on myself, because they don't really care that much, whether I produce or not, because they're not paying me a salary. It's just commission. So it's all on me. That's why nobody gets fired or written up for lack of production. It's the only way you get fired is if you violate company policy. But everybody that's not producing, they end up just quitting because they're not making any money. So they'll go do something else. So that's been another thing too in my mind. Oh man, what if what if I bit off more than I could chew? What if this is, what if I'm not meant for this? What if I can't figure this out? What am I going to do? I don't want to go back to outreach. I don't want to go back to pedicabbing. So realistically, my backup would probably be to go work for Brad. But I think I can do this though. I just gotta I'm almost there. I'm already through the hardest part. I made it through all the mental barriers, the turbulence. I made it through the sickness, I made it through the anxiety, I made it through the training, I made it through the certification. So it's like now I'm finally like getting out there on my own every day. I'm working my own hours, my own territory. It's like it's coming. So tomorrow actually could be a big day. I could get 2 or 3 LOIs tomorrow and schedule 3 closes and close 2 of them and make 3 grand right there. And like it can all just like that. So that's what I gotta remember. That's what I gotta think about. It's just like it's all on me to make that happen. And I gotta remember how I got to that point. Because I think when I switched over, I tried to adapt to the new environment, and I was just, putting too much pressure on myself and trying to act like a businessman, like a more serious person than I actually am, and it just didn't feel true to myself. And like Ron showed me like, nah man, like you like be the sauce boss, have that silly goose energy, be unique, and like that's what got you to this point in the first place. That's why you were the best in outreach. That's why you were considered for direct sales. That's why you got interviewed, and that's why you got hired. So use that to get to the next level. And I was like, I didn't think I can do, but it's like I got it. I just got to remember who I am. And now I'm starting to come back. I'm not fully back to 100% yet, but of course it'll make me feel better once I start producing. But I can tell that I'm trending that direction, and a lot better than a week ago when I didn't feel like the sauce boss at all. But yeah, so that's as far as work goes. That's where I'm at. So I'll probably the next update will be more eventful, a more accurate reflection on what it's like. Because so far my only perspective is being brand new. So yeah, man, it's just been a humbling experience. And, I've been made aware of a lot of things and doing a lot of self-reflecting and just really analyzing my personality and trying to do my best version of start, stop, continue. Which things do I want to start doing, which things do I want to stop doing, which things do I want to continue doing. And as far as my New Year's resolutions go, making music, that's been on, pretty much all my New Year's resolutions is like, I've just been so consumed with, with work and with trying to figure this out so I can get some income. And then once I have an income, then I can relax a little bit. But right now, it's like, I don't know, when I'm going to get paid next because I don't have any contracts yet. So, like, that's on me to make that happen. So that's my main priority right now. And then, yeah. So I've been getting into working out, though. Like, ever since I came back from out of town. It was actually, like, I remember one day in particular, I woke up and I was just, I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything because I was just freaking out. And I was like, well, I know I got to get out to field today. I was like, there's no way I can knock doors when I'm like this, though. So I tried to do everything I could. It's coffee, kratom, whatever. And it only helped a little bit, but not enough for me to function. And so I decided to just go to the gym. And I really didn't want to, but I forced myself to do it because I'm like, well, you're already not good, so it's like, it's not going to make it worse, like I was willing to roll those dice. So I did the workout, And every rep I immediately just wanted to quit, but I just kept going because I'm like, it's either this or just sit in the corner in a ball and just rock. It's like I don't want to do that. So yeah, so after like 10 minutes into the workout, I actually started to feel better. I started to like come out of that like wave of anxiety and whatever. I actually started to feel more like myself. I got the dopamine going. I felt stronger. I felt more confident. I felt like more willing to, go out into the world and to give it a shot, and all of that. And so by the end of the workout, I actually like was able to like lift myself up enough to get out there. And so that's really a statement to that. Is like that's what made me realize like I gotta do this every day. I gotta incorporate this into my morning routine, not just for my physical health but for my mental health. That like I'm not a bodybuilder, but obviously the muscle and the gains and stuff, that's an added bonus. The main reason I work out is for mood regulation and just chemical balance of the brain, and just circulation, I guess, getting the blood flowing, getting the heart beating, and just like being in a good state. So I've been working out daily now, and I'm actually really sore. I might take my first rest day tomorrow. Just one though, I'm not gonna lose the momentum. But that's good. No pain, no gain, right? So definitely growing. But yeah, as far as music, I haven't made any music so far this year. I'm gonna try for February 1st, but really income is my main priority right now. And I know down the road I'll probably make some money with music, but I gotta spend money to make money in that regard because I need a complete overhaul of equipment and stuff, which I really just can't afford right now because I can't even afford to get my car fixed, and that's definitely something that would need to happen first. So yeah, so I'm not in spending mode right now. I'm just I'm spending as little money as possible until I start getting some commissions coming in, which could be within the next couple days. So now I can see that. A week ago, I didn't even know if this was something I can do. So now I think it is, and I'm almost there. I just gotta be patient. I gotta relax, and be confident and have fun. Same things that help me get good at outreach. So if you notice, I spend most of the time on here talking about work, and that's because that's really what dictates everything else in my life when you think about it, because that's linked to money, which is linked to everything, and then the success and all that. Because without money, there's really not much I can do, So, but yeah, I don't really have a lot of experience like with having a surplus of money. I usually am struggling financially. But whenever I'm not, that feels good. And no matter what else is going on, it definitely does put me in a better place mentally. So I can only imagine if I had $10,000 or $20,000 in the bank and no debt and no obligations. It's like, yeah, I would probably feel better, for sure. I haven't experienced that yet, but this is definitely an opportunity for me to. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I'm in, so I'm going to do everything in my power to make it work. So I'll let you know how it goes for the next update. It's the middle of winter right now, so probably gonna have more cool fronts. There's only been like maybe 2 days this month that were like too warm. Other than that, it's been either nice or, cool weather. It got into the 30s once or twice. Unfortunately, a lot of that was when I was sick, so I wasn't really able to appreciate it. And then a lot of it was also when I was out of town down at West Palm Beach, where it's like 20 degrees warmer. So, but yeah. So the weather's been nice for the most part, and right now it's like 50 degrees. Tonight's low is 42, I think. It's a clear sky, which I love. It was a beautiful sunset today. And we got a lot of stars out right now, is what I'm looking at. And, it's just like, there's different versions of 50 degrees, where it can be humid, it can be dry, it can be windy, it can be calm, like there's different versions of it, and this is probably my favorite version of it. There's something about the air where it just feels like clean and rejuvenating and calm. Like there's no wind right now. It's clear sky. This is my kind of weather right here. So it's symbolic for me, I guess. Anything can be, really. But I try not to romanticize things or, symbolize things too much, because, then I fall into that protagonist syndrome, which it's all just the ego. It's a form of narcissism, really. But it's like it's kind of I kind of need that sometimes, though. In order to be confident and to, I won't need it forever, hopefully, but like it definitely does feel good to, like, at least now I have the understanding where it's like, yeah, like it probably is rooted in nonsense, like this probably doesn't mean anything, but it's fun to pretend, it's like, you can't prove either way, so why not just do whatever feels better. So it's like, yeah, it's fun to act like everything has a profound meaning and implication, and I'm special and able to do unique things and whatever. It's like, it might not be true, but it's definitely fun to act like that. So I just gotta be careful, though, not to get carried away. But yeah, just in moderation. But yeah, I like this weather, and I think things are starting to turn around now. Things are looking up. So I still think 2024 is going to be a great year. And yeah, I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. So until next time, take care, everyone.